Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where the tea is piping hot and we are always ready to spill. I'm Logan Murphy, aka president of the Palesa fan club.
Do I say?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And I am Gia Worthy. And if you couldn't tell, this is my first time on The Cup with my fabulous Cup, and I am very excited to be talking about everything Survivor South Africa today.
I am so happy to have you, Gia, as like the person I know the most, or is the biggest fan of Survivor South Africa. This was a must-have. This was a must-do situation. I'm so happy to welcome you into the Cup fam, and we're gonna dive into Survivor South Africa, Return of the Outcasts.
I'm so excited.
I'm freaking out still. I'm so excited.
I know. It does feel like a Survivor fan fiction has come to life with, the idea. And I feel, if any Survivor franchise was going to bring this idea of pre-merge and post-merge to life, it was going to be Survivor South Africa, because
Agreed.
They're the ones that I feel like listen to the fans the most and are willing to try some things that may seem unconventional to other franchises. But I love the route that they are going with this, and I can't wait to discuss everything more in depth.
And I mean, they have my favorite host. I'm just going to go ahead and say Nico is my favorite host. I just love this man. He really seems like a fan in the way that, like, I love Arissa Cox because I know she's such a Big Brother super fan in Canada. Like, it's that level of, like, excitement for me. And this season is going to be so exciting. We are getting, let's just talk about 4 episodes a week, Gia.
4 episodes
4
a
of
week.
them.
The podcasters and recappers and other content creators, we're in shambles right now with the 4 episodes a week.
And going into a very busy season, at least here, with all of the coverage we're going to have going on.
I know. It was not planned well for the content creators. For the audience, this is going to be like the best thing ever, because you get to get to watch Survivor South Africa 4 days a week.
And I'm very excited to do so, but
yes.
With Big Brother 3 days a week, with probably 3 seasons of Drag Race happening at once, it'll be a lot here, but
it will. Yes.
We're excited for all of the content.
It's okay. Honestly, like, this is my life now. I watch Survivor South Africa, go to work, and then maybe sleep, but probably not.
Who needs sleep?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like the 3rd on my list of, like, what I must be doing.
3rd or 4th, maybe.
3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true. Drinking.
Very that.
Yes. To get me through the podcast, obviously.
Exactly, of course. So give me a rundown, Gia. Your favorite seasons, your favorite people.
Oh, my God.
Tell me all of your thoughts about South Africa as a whole.
So for those that don't follow me on Twitter or don't know what I do, which you should, but for people that just don't know what I do on the side, I am a huge Survivor South Africa fan, so much so that I've seen every season 1 through 8 now, at least once. And now I am rewatching all 8 current seasons that we have and writing roundups for them for Inside Survivor. That is how dedicated I am to the Survivor South Africa franchise. And I'm really excited to be creating kind of like an archive for some of the highlights of each season. It's been really fun putting the roundups together. And I'm very happy that the first one was just posted today. So I'm very excited to see how everything is going. I love the whole franchise, even which we'll talk about some of my least favorite seasons later, but even my least favorite seasons have some highlights or some gems or stars in there, even some of these earlier seasons with more rudimentary gameplay and I guess like game mechanics and morals around how you can ethically play the game, I should say. And so there's a lot of that happening, but there's still something that I appreciate about those seasons. So I'm very grateful that we have a franchise where I can rewatch every season and find something to enjoy in it. I have to say, because when I first started watching, I did the same thing that I'm doing now, which is start at season 1 and then watched all the way through. And when I started season 8, wasn't out yet, and season 7 just ended. So it was kind of the perfect time to watch through. And I have to give a special shout out to season 5, which is Survivor South Africa Champions. That is the season that reeled me in. Like, I loved all the seasons so far. I really liked the cast of the older seasons, but season 5 was just everything was in place. The twists were wild. The cast was so independently minded. They were chaotic. They had fun with it. You knew so many people were there to play and play to win. They had a fantastic cast of characters, which is why we are bringing so many of them back for season 9. And I'd argue that, like, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg with season 5. Like, Shane and Marian, I feel like, are the creme de la creme of the season in terms of iconic duos and iconic players to remember. But there is a laundry list of other contestants from this season that I feel like could also have been slated to appear in this season, and it would have made perfect sense.
Absolutely.
I know everyone talks about season 6 as like the gold tier of strategy. That's
my favorite. It's my favorite season.
So, and I am a huge fan of PK and Palesa. So I have to say, I do agree. It has some really fantastic moments and characters. PK blindsiding Tevin is still one of my favorite moments in Survivor South African history.
Will we get the reverse happening this season? I hope.
They better. Tevin better watch himself, okay? Absolutely not. If he votes out PK, first of all, I mean, like, that might mean we make it to merge if they're not doing tribe swaps during. I don't know if they'll do tribe swaps.
I'm interested to see if there's going to be a tribe swap on this season.
But still, absolutely not. Tevin, like, your days, like, I have my eyes on you if you are blindsiding PK. I refuse. We're not doing that reverse shit, okay? It's not cute. So PK can blindside Tevin, though, again, if he wants to. Like, I'm fine with that. But we have a couple other people from that season too. Toni's a really fun watch. She has really great confessionals as well. So I think that's a really great get from that season as well.
Yeah.
And so, but I have to say, season 8, which is the first season of Survivor South Africa that I recapped, like I wrote recaps for from beginning to end. That whole experience is just a complete joy to me, and it's been one of my favorite Survivor seasons. Was the Immunity Island season. It has an amazing cast, a ton of super fans. The twists work really well. I'd argue even the twists that didn't work particularly well still served some type of humorous purpose to me at the very least. So I really enjoyed all of the players that we got in that season. A lot of them were very active on social media, and you could see really loved getting to know the fans. And the shocking final 2 that we got, I love it. I love that it was not predictable that of the final 2 that we got. I love that we didn't get a predictable winner, but someone that you could still understand why she won.
Yeah.
I was just very excited about Immunity Island all the way through. And even when some of my favorite players were voted out, there was still a plethora of other players to cheer on. So it was like, even when I was sad, there was never a dull moment for me. It was never a moment where I was like, well, I guess the season's over. There was still something to keep me on the edge of my seat. Although, let's be honest, when I think all of Twitter collectively shut down when Santoni was voted out. So, like, that was fair, though. We were taking our mourning days. We had our week of mourning. So, we are allowed that. So that
absolutely. I've had the honor of, I would say, becoming an online friend of Sentini's. It's truly one of my favorite things that podcasting has brought me, is sort of this connection that I have with her. I was lucky enough to have her and Sean from Immunity Island together on a podcast when we were doing Survivor South Africa Immunity Island. We got to talk to them. It was just such a lovely experience. I'm going to hope to get Sentini on here to talk with us. That is my goal. I'm hopeful. I want to try to get as many of these South African survivors, because I know there aren't a lot of media outlets covering these seasons, and they really should. And that's why I love everything that you're doing, Gia, with Inside Survivor. And all the links will be available in the description below, so go check all of that out as well. But I know there's not a lot of outlets that are covering these seasons. And like you said, every single season of Survivor South Africa has something that you can go back and watch specifically for, even if you didn't like the whole season.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yes, I would have loved to see Santini on here personally on this season.
I think they're saving her for a future season, which I'm not disappointed by. I think we are.
I'm not either.
Yeah. I think the minute they have the perfect opportunity for Santini, you know, like they're going to take their time with her to make sure they have the perfect situations for her. And I'm very excited to see that.
Well, speaking
of what she deserves.
It's what she deserves. Speaking of Immunity Island, shall we dive into the cast?
Yes, please.
Fabulous. So of course, as always, if you know the cup, I come with a visual. I always do. It's always a visual. This cast photo, I have to say, is one of the single best cast photos of any Survivor season.
It's so good. I love it. I like that they put Nico in the center of it.
I agree.
I feel like that's very underutilized strategy, because I don't think they do that with US or Australian Survivor either.
I don't think Jeff is in any of the cast photos.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think Jonathan.
I don't think JLP is either.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, I did the scenery, the pre and posters all together, it just it looks so good.
And this season was filmed, again, domestically for them. So it was filmed on the Sunshine Coast, which I believe is where they filmed season 8, if I remember correctly.
I think
it's near there.
I think it's near there. They filmed on the... Oh my God, what was... It was not this coast. It was a different coast. I'll have to look it up. But
I'm going to look it up really quick, because it's going to bother me if I don't remember. The Wild Coast.
The Wild,
where they did last season. So we are on the Sunshine Coast this season, which is fabulous and lovely. So like we've kind of talked about a little bit already, the starting tribes for this season are broken into pre-merge and post-merge. We've kind of already given our thoughts. I love this idea. I love that we're getting equal representation, because on returning seasons, we haven't always gotten that. And so I really appreciate giving those that were pre-merge that didn't really have all that opportunity getting an equal shot as people that were post-merge. And speaking of Immunity Island, we start with Dino.
Yay! What a great start. What a great way to kick off the podcast.
Alphabetically on the pre-merge tribe, a great start. He lasted 16 days in the game. He was 14th overall. He is a live escape game owner. He is kind of one of us, Gia. Like, he's a Twitter person. He's a reality game person. Like, he feels very, very close to, you know, the Twitter sphere that we occupy. And so that's what I loved about Dino from the start of Immunity Island. And I'm very, very happy to see him back.
Absolutely. As someone that has had the pleasure of being able to talk with Dino over social media, and I'm sure I am not alone in saying this, but the Dino that we saw in Immunity Island, very much the Dino that you get to know in real life as well. He's just a super nice person, really excited about the game, really kind and very enthusiastic. And this is someone that I think all of Twitter is rooting for to do well in this game. And I don't have any spoilers, but I don't get any information about what the placements are or whether someone does well or not as well. I don't have any information like that. I just have a very strong feeling that Dino is going to do well this season. At the very least, I believe he will make Verge. But I have faith in him that he's going to go a little farther. I think he really learned from his mistakes in Immunity Island. And now that he's had the initial thrill of being on Survivor once, he can think a little more strategy-oriented for his second time. And I think this is a good cast for him to blend in with if he's able to.
Yeah, he even said in interviews that he's done for Mnet that, you know, to what you just said, Gia, the thrill of the first time is kind of washed over him, and now he's able to play with a little bit less concern for what's going to happen and what's going to happen on the outside, and he can kind of just enjoy this experience a lot more, which I'm really, really happy to see him be able to do.
Yes, and I can't wait. I can't wait. This is one of the people that once Dino was not on Twitter for like a month, and then I was like, all right, he either something terrible happened or he's on the new season. But like I'm assuming he's on the new season. And I was very happy to see that Dino was one of the people that was chosen to be on the pre-mergers tribe. And I love the idea that we're getting pre-mergers, and the fact that we're getting a whole tribe of pre-mergers makes me even happier.
And on top of that, a lot of iconic pre-mergers, which we'll talk about. And Dino is definitely one of them. So 100%. Outwardly rooting for Dino. Like, I'm not even gonna hide it. We're rooting for Dino. Not even
low-key. High-key rooting for Dino and his success.
Absolutely. Very that.
We want that wedding to be paid for.
Please, yes. I would love. His partner is so beautiful, too.
100%. Yes. We want them to have a stress-free wedding. We stand.
Very that. Let's move to Felix from Island of Secrets. 12 days in the game, 17th overall. Was, I believe, the fourth boo. That would be fourth, I believe. Fourth or fifth from Island of Secrets. A season that is interesting. Let's use that word to describe Island of Secrets.
Is that the word we're going to use?
I'm going to say for now.
Yes. So I am not a particular fan of Island of Secrets. None of the cast, these pre-mergers are not the reason why I'm not a fan of Island of Secrets. I'm very excited to see, I did not know who Felix was initially when I saw the cast, or I could not remember him at first, but that was because I kind of just got Island of Secrets out of my head after a little bit. And and it was just, I didn't remember a whole lot from it, but I read his bio a little bit, and they mentioned how he butted heads a lot with Tania, and that kind of was like, okay, now my memory's being jogged a little bit. But I kind of love this pick for a pre-juror. I feel like it fits the return of the Outcasts. He admits in some of his interviews going into this season that he wasn't really in a good headspace when he played in season 7. I believe his child was just born recently, or he was under a lot of stress. So he was a lot of uncertainty, but now he is in a much more comfortable place in his life. His child's a little older, so he feels more comfortable about going out to the game. And honestly, I think a good mindset is some of the best things that you could hope for going into a returnee season. The fact that, as a fourth boot, you're getting the opportunity to play again. Look at that smile. He looks so happy to be there again.
Right.
Yes. So I'm excited to see what Felix does. And I am rooting for him in that I hope he does better than his original placement.
I'm just incredibly curious if he's going to butt heads with Tania again. We'll talk about Tania because, oh boy, I have a lot of things to say about Tania.
Yes.
But no, I'm very excited for Felix. I remembered Felix mostly because I actually just started rewatching Island of Secrets.
Got it.
I'd only watched it once and I was like, okay, I'm going to give it another try. And, those first couple of episodes are just really heavy in a weird way that I don't really get from any other season of Survivor South Africa.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're kind of trudging along a little bit in those first couple of episodes. And I remember Felix getting kind of blindsided eventually, and I believe by Tania. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I'm also very excited to see him back. Very happy he's in a better headspace. I hope you do well.
Yeah,
that's kind of all I got.
I'm rooting for Felix. I'd like to see him do well. I'm excited to see how changed he is. I think sometimes we do get pre-jurors or early merge boots that are kind of question marks for why they were picked to turn back. But you know, like some of our Survivor greats, like Parvati Shallow, were one of those question marks way back in Micronesia, and now she's considered one of the greatest Survivor players of all time. So I'm not saying that's the destiny for Felix, but I am saying like there is potential in bringing some of these question mark early boots as well. So I'm hoping good things for Felix.
Absolutely. I'm hoping good things for most of these people, honestly. I feel like a lot of these early boots especially are going to be difficult, especially if the pre-merge tribe loses the first challenge. Like that's going to be devastating because then someone's pre-merge again. And I'm just it's going to be devastating. But excited for Felix. Sure.
Yay! Why not?
Killarny from Champions. A pick that I'm going to say, and I don't know if you agree, I'm genuinely shocked. I didn't think they would bring her back, and I'm very happy to see it.
I'm obsessed with this choice. Mm-hmm. I love it. I think it fits the theme perfectly. Mm-hmm. And I think that Killarny's boot is something that I don't think would have happened if all of the contestants had all the information before they made their decision. I'm pretty confident in that, honestly. But
I agree.
I am so excited about having her back. And this is someone that I feel like got a really rough deal the first time around. But she is one of our Survivor South Africa champions representation. And I really liked her in the few episodes that we got her. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited to get her back again. I am just over the moon that this is one of the people that they picked to return, not just from champions, but in the pre-mergers all around. And this was such a great choice. I just love everything about her. I hope she goes very far in the game.
Yeah, and she talks in her interviews about how she didn't really understand Survivor and like the game aspect of Survivor very well the first time, which ultimately does result in her being the first person voted out of her tribe in Champions. But I am very, very happy that she's back. She talks about she still wants to compete physically, but she says she's bringing a softer touch to the social side of the game, which I think is very, very important. She seems like someone who definitely learned from her first experience and is going to take all of that into this experience. And I'm very, very happy because she was one of my favorites from Champions.
Yes. This is a very good pick. I'm hoping really good things for Killarny.
Absolutely. Let's go to Phil from Champions. 15th, 11 days in the game. I'm going to be really honest. I didn't remember him when this cast dropped. I could not place who he was, where he got eliminated. And that's no shade to him, but I just like...
Yeah. I was surprised that they brought Phil back for a pre-merger, but when I think of him, I think of the sugarcane incident. That's probably the thing he's most famous for. And he was causing a little bit of chaos when he was at camp the first time. I think that they would think of him as like a disc one like villain that you battle, you know, like he's kind of like the early part of the merge villain. He doesn't last very long, but he was definitely entertaining while he was there. So I can see why they would pick him for the potential of bringing a little chaos into the pre-mergers tribe, because I feel like there's definitely some potential for the pre-mergers tribe to be chaotic and messy. I don't think it holds a candle to what we are getting from the post-merge tribe, which we will discuss about just the sheer chaos that is going to be on that tribe. But chaos.
Chaos.
All the chaos, all the shenanigans. They did a very good job picking that tribe. But I do see Phil as like someone that brings that chaoticness from Champions into the new season. I don't know how well versed he is in Survivor, if he kept up with the show over the years, but I'm like, it's a pleasant surprise, I guess I would say, is that this wasn't the person I would think that they would bring from Champions, but I see how it makes sense in the context of the theme. And I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, to touch on what you just talked about, like his knowledge of the game, he talked about how specifically you can't really compare the gameplay from Champions to the current version of Survivor South Africa that you're playing, because at the time that they played, a lot of people were still learning what Survivor was and what the gameplay was. And so having the knowledge that he does now, I'm really excited to see everyone from Champions and the one representative from Maldives we'll talk about. I'm excited to see all of those people get a chance to play this modern version of what Survivor South Africa has become, kind of adapting the gameplay of the American version, but still having this very, like, I think of all Survivor South Africa, like modern seasons at least, as just a little bit more cutthroat than other seasons.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see all of the Champions and Maldives players get the opportunity to play this sort of more cutthroat game. And I hope that he's learned, and I hope from his first time, and I hope he brings the chaos, because that's something I love to see as a viewer and as a podcaster. It gives me something to talk about. It keeps me engaged in the season, and I'm interested. I'm very interested in Phil.
I'm intrigued to see how this goes.
Yeah. When I saw that Pinty was on this cast, I screamed. I'm honestly shocked, and I'm very excited.
I am also shocked. I did not think they would be bringing Pinty back. And, you know, she was there for 2 episodes, I believe.
Yeah,
and
she was second boot.
Yeah, so I did not expect them to bring her back, but I'm excited to see where they go with Pinty, how Pinty does, or if she's learned from any of her missteps in her first iteration of the game. I'm very excited about this pick.
Yeah, so from what it sounds like, they filmed, well, and I know when they filmed Return of the Outcasts, it was a very short period of time between the filming of Immunity Island and the filming of Return of the Outcasts. It's less than a year. Yes. And so she talks about, like, it may have been a very, very short period of time, but she feels like she's grown a lot in that time.
Yeah.
And she always saw herself as, like, she had the strong work ethic. She was valuable in the challenges that she was in. She just did not have the social game. Yes. And so coming in, that's going to be my number one thing to look at for her is, like, is she going to have that social game? And is she going to be able to mesh well, specifically with the people from her season? Because there are a good amount of people from Immunity Island on this pre-merge tribe.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see how she's going to mesh with the characters on this tribe. Has she learned? I'm excited to see.
I am excited to talk about some of the other pre-mergers, but I will say, you know, of all the pre-mergers, Pinty just needs to be slightly more chill, because, you know, not everybody on this pre-mergers tribe has learned their lesson from the first time around. So I feel like the bar is low for her being chill. Like, Pinty, you just got to be more chill than, like, 2 people. That's it. And I have a feeling there will be a couple of them that have not learned their lesson.
Tania, what?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say it, but I'm sure we're going to be discussing that soon.
Oh, we will. She's somewhere up here in the alphabet.
Is she next? No, she's not next. She's got,
anyway. I'm excited for Pinty, but
I can't wait for Pinty.
No, because next is Seamus.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm picturing the order in my head.
The only first boot on the cast. First boot from Survivor Philippines. This
was the person I had no recollection of.
Fair.
Yes. And then I listened to some podcasts and got read his profile and everything to just get a better idea of what his story was. And it sounds like he played too hard, too fast, and his tribe was one of chaos, and they were just like, nope, we're just going to vote for him now. And I don't hate the move, but how much do we really know about him other than he overplayed his first time in the game?
He played what I affectionately call the alpha douche bro role.
Yes.
And it got him voted out first. You see in almost every season of Survivor, there's always an alpha man that takes control of making the camp, and they get voted out first.
Yes.
And that's Seamus. The interesting thing about Seamus, and what I'm very excited about, is that he's a Survivor super fan.
Ooh. That makes sense for why he was overplaying the first time.
Yeah, so he talks about how he's researched the game, heroes, villains, the game's evolution, all of the main franchises. So he's probably seen most, if not all, of the American version. And he talks about how he watches Survivor religiously with his mother. And so that's a very nice bonding moment for them. But he does say in his bio, he understands he played too hard, too fast. And he says he's matured tremendously. He's in a better headspace. And you know what? I'm excited. I really think of the people on this pre-merge tribe, I think the two I'm most excited to see their evolution is Pinty and Seamus.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's interesting.
They're really the two that didn't get to show a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And both kind of fell into the same sort of trap on their season of just of letting the paranoia of the game get to them too quickly and just playing a little too hard, too fast.
Yeah.
I think with his knowledge of Survivor, I think Seamus will either be an early boot again, or he's going to make it to the end of the game. And I'm going to say that now.
I don't know. I'm interested. This is the biggest of all of them. This is the biggest question mark just because we know so little. We've seen so little of this game. But I do love that this is someone that was able to, and, you know, it's got to be hard being first boot, you know, especially when you are a big fan of the game. So I do like the idea that someone is able to go back, look at their mistakes from the first time around and learn from it. Mm-hmm. And he only has one tribal council that he has to survive. So
if Yontao wins the first challenge, he's done better than his first season. And you know what? I hope for that for him.
I really hope he at least outplaces his first time around. But I like this plan, and I like the idea that he has grown from his first time, and I always am rooting for the Survivor super fans.
Me too.
So you know, I could be endeared to Seamus if he plays his cards right. We'll see.
Absolutely.
I'm not a monster.
Yeah, we'll get halfway through the season and be like, I hate everyone.
I would never. I hate everyone that's not Palesa, basically.
Honestly, that's going to be me.
I know, honestly. We'll get into I love the post-merge cast so much, but oh my God, they're not allowed to vote each other out.
I know. Can everybody just play the whole game? Can we do a point system like Drag Race is doing? Honestly, I'm here for it.
Instead of voting people out, the people they want to go home will lip sync for their life. I like it. I support this. I support this.
I feel like Palesa would do very well there. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
She's racking up all those points.
Shona from Champions, another interesting choice for me.
Oh my god, this was another one that I did not think that this was someone they were ever going to bring back, but I also didn't anticipate that we'd have half a tribe of pre-jurors, and Shona's a fantastic pick for a pre-juror. She brought it her first season in Champions. She was such a star, and I'm sure she has grown from her first time playing. I mean, it's been almost 10 years since she played last. I'm pretty sure Champions aired in 2014, I believe is when it aired. Yeah, so it's been almost 10 years, so I'm sure she has grown from her first time. But Shona, baby, do not change a damn thing. You were perfect your first time. It is not your fault. They just didn't get it over there.
Will she find an idol for herself this time?
Oh my god, I hope so.
I hope they plant an idol for her. Honest to God. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, production, like, invisible handing the season, but just give Shona her own idol, please.
Just give Shona alone the power to steal idols. It's only fair. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Her bio was really interesting. So she actually went on the South African version of Shark Tank. And was very successful from that with her, I believe it was lingerie and swimwear brand.
Oh, okay.
And she's also developing a dating app. It's like really, really cool. Like, she's done a lot since she was on the show.
I'm obsessed.
I'm really, really excited to see her again. She was kind of just bogged down from the start, getting like just beat after beat after beat on Champions, just like not having a great first time and kind of just getting like boom, 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 elimination. Like, I'm excited to see her back.
I'm very excited for this one. And I know no matter how long or how short she is in the game, she will be entertaining from beginning to end.
And we love a queen that promotes body positivity and all of that. We love to see it.
Oh, 100%. And like, Shona, let us know what the dating app is. Like, hook the girl up, please.
Right? I'm on board.
Please.
I'm on board. Gia, we have reached the portion of our program where we now have the honor and privilege of discussing Tania from Island of Secrets.
Tania! Oh my god. I love this. I love this pick.
Plan A, 2 boys, 2 girls. Plan A, 3 girls, 1 boy. Plan B, 3 boys, 1 girl. What do they all have in common? Me. I love her.
I hope Tania learned nothing from her past season. I hope that she has not learned a goddamn thing from season 7 into season 9. She does not need to. She was iconic the first time. She had no business staying as long as she did, but she did the damn thing, and it was legendary. I am obsessed with the fact that we were able to get her back onto a season. Oh my god, I was just... The Survivor gods have blessed us once again.
Truly the most enigmatic character on the pre-merge tribe, if not the entire game. I'm really excited to see people's faces when they see Tania on the beaches of the Sunshine Coast in episode 1. Like, I am just so thrilled and honored that I get to discuss Queen Tania on this season.
We are blessed to have this pick. And
we're blessed with this cast, honestly.
We are blessed for this cast, but these are really good pre-juror picks. And I think Tania is just the manifestation of like chaotic pre-juror boo. I would say like she didn't do herself a lot of favors during her time on the show, but I knew exactly who this was when I saw the cast. It was like, you cannot understate her power, her impact on like the chaotic pre-juror. Dino played a very mellow game compared to Tania's pre-merge game, and I love it. I love that we have her here. This is the chaos that we are looking for.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely interested to see how Felix reacts and how he's able to, because he says he's in a better place, but I don't think he anticipated him and Tania coming back, or maybe he did.
Well, and they are the only two from Island of Secrets on that tribe. There is a very strong Island of Secret. Oh, absolutely. There's a very strong Island of Secrets representation. I believe they're tied for the most representation with Philippines.
Yep. With Champions.
Is it Champions?
Yep, there's 5 Champions players.
Are there only I thought there were also 5 from
I'm pretty sure it's 4 on I'm pretty sure it's 4 from
It's 5 from Philippines as well.
It's 5 from Philippines? Ooh.
5 from Philippines, 5 from Island of Secrets, 5 from Champions.
I'm sorry. I forgot Seamus.
Not forgetting Seamus.
I'm so sorry, Seamus. That was mean of me.
Yeah, so it's 5 from Champions, Island of Secrets, and Philippines, 4 from Immunity Island, 1 from Maldives.
Yes. Okay.
It's pretty evenly divided, and then Maldives, but
I am shocked that we were able to get people from Maldives, or like anything earlier than Champions. I'm kind of shocked that they would get people to be able to play. So we will talk about Tejan in a bit. We will talk about Tejan. He's an excellent pick.
The best possible pick from that season. We'll talk about him.
Oh yeah.
Tevin.
Oh, Tevin.
I appreciate this choice.
They had to bring him back. If they're bringing a pre-juror from recent Survivor seasons, Tevin has to be in consideration for it because he has like the classic arc of like was riding high and then eventually like his second in command betrayed him. And
right before merge.
Right before merge. So if you're going to have a pre-merge season or a season with half of them being pre-mergers, Tevin has to be in the conversation. There's just like, unless he didn't want to come back, there is no reason to to not have him.
Yeah. I'm going to be real honest. I like looking at him. So I'm very happy that he's here. I mean, everything you said, it's the classic betrayed right before merge. Happens canonically throughout Survivor. So I'm interested to see Tevin, because he is the only... Oh, no, I forgot about Seamus.
Not Seamus. Oh my God. Seamus, we love you. I'm sorry.
Seamus, you're great. We love you. You're a super fan. Great. But it's him and Seamus on the pre-merge tribe. Everybody else from Philippines is on the post-merge tribe. So I'm interested to see if we end up getting any sort of, like, if they all make a tribe swap or if they all make a merge situation, how is he going to be interacting with the PK and the Toni and the Palesa? Like, how is that going to work? And will he be able to do the exact same thing that he did the first time on this tribe?
Yeah, I'm curious what we're going to get from Tevin. So, like, he had some comments that I was not a big fan of. So I was very excited about his blind side when it initially happened. And I will not be upset if it happens again. But he was a very strong presence and he had a very iconic arc during his time in Philippines. So I'm glad that they brought him back for the continuity of it. And it seems like he's ready to play. And from the interviews, it sounds like he's not looking to blindside any of the people that blindsided him the last time, PK and Toni. But we will see if that is the case. If that, it could be just a little too tempting. But Tevin, you better fucking not, okay?
Don't do it.
Don't you dare, okay? I don't think he'll ever listen to this, but if he is, I hope he's terrified of me. All 5'1" of me.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. One more on the pre-merge tribe. Yes! Thank the Lord above. It's Thoriso. Oh, I screamed. I cried, Gia. I cried and screamed. I'm so happy.
I was so sad when Thoriso was voted out in Immunity Island. She was one of those people that the minute I learned about her, the minute I read her bio, saw who was her inspiration, saw that she was a Survivor super fan, I wanted nothing but for her to be successful. She was the player with the most confessionals in the premiere, like the icon she is.
Yep.
And oh, what a legend. She is so much fun. She's such a kind human. I am very excited about this, and I'm very happy that Thoriso was brought back. That potential was so there, and I'm hoping that she goes far. I really there are a couple players that I am like deeply invested in them doing well in the game, and I want Thoriso to do well. That is one of all the pre-mergers, like her and Dino are like, I must see them do well. I am so invested in their success. It's not even funny.
I could not agree with you more. The original queen of Immunity Island, because she went there so many damn times.
We love it for you.
I am so happy. She has talked about how she's learned a lot from in the very short period of time between filming her seasons. And she talked about coming back in and really getting to know the people she's on a tribe with. And I think that's one of the least talked about things in regards to Survivor is just getting to know the people that you're around. Because we only see a 45-minute episode of what is a 24-hour day or a couple of 24-hour days on this island. And having the opportunity to get to know these people on such a deeper level, I think that's the big thing she talked about. And it's the big thing that I hope will propel her further than what she did her first time.
Yeah.
Truly so thrilled.
Yes. I think the same thing. Obviously, this is kind of an easy comparison because I did like Thoriso and Dino were voted out very close to each other. I believe it was like Thoriso, then Dino, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I think they both had some similar problems where they made some bad choices when they were there initially. Like their social game was maybe a little bit of disconnect and like overplaying, but they are both super fans and were very excited to be in the game the first time. I'm sure they're thrilled to get the second chance to play this game as pre-mergers. And I am very hopeful for the same for her as I hope for Dino that, you know, they'll be able to learn from their games the first time and just make a few tiny adjustments to get them a little further.
Yeah. So there was one person between Thoriso and Dino's eliminations who I will say I would have liked to see on this season as well because I think she had a lot of potential. That's Carla.
Oh, I thought Carla was before because that was the double vote, right? Like Carla and Thoriso went in the same episodes. Yeah. Okay, so I thought Thoriso was the last vote. So The Carla's another one that I would have loved to see here.
Yeah, I agree. But with that, that is the Yontao tribe. I hope I'm saying that right. Yontao, I believe so.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're going to move on to the Masu tribe, which is our post-merge tribe. Oh boy. 10 characters, honestly.
Mess. Ah, my God. We are getting mess. We are getting drama. We are getting everything you could want from a tribe. This has potential. I don't know if they will be successful, but they will definitely be as messy as Kasaya. That is the gold. That is a gold star guarantee right there.
And we start with maybe the messiest of them all, Chappies.
Oh my God. Chappies.
I'm excited for the return of Chappies Diner. I am just one of those enigmas on Survivor, truly. Like, I think he could go either way. Either he's going to go out early or he's going to make it far. And that's I feel that way.
Yes. I worry for Chappies. Now, we know that Chappies is a very iconic player. He had a lot of really big moments. He's the last player to play of the people that are left. Like, he was literally one day away from last season's finale. And he has a lot of great moments. He is a challenge beast. He
tied for the most immunities.
Tied for the most immunity wins. He had a lot of great moments throughout the season, for better or for worse, for his social game. And I think that he's just so memorable. And he was a fan favorite from this season. So, like, obviously the viewers loved him. So he has a lot of notoriety to him going into this season. And he's the only Immunity Island contestant in the post-merge tribe. I worry a little bit for Chappies. I think his physical powers will be beneficial to him, but I don't know if this tribe will actually care about anything that he can do for them in challenges. And if he doesn't have the connections to keep him safe that maybe some of these other tribe mates have, and with his reputation just coming out of season 8, I am a little worried for him.
I don't think they're going to worry about what he can do in challenges because, newsflash, all 5 of the men on this post-merge tribe are, like, powerful men in challenges.
Yeah.
And the women are too. Like, this is a very, very physical tribe. I'm interested. I also worry. I could see him, if they lose the first challenge, I could see Chappies being first boo. I really do.
I really don't see that. Obviously, there are a lot of strong players on this tribe. I do not see this cast being a tribe of people that are going to vote on challenge capabilities. I think they are thinking so much further ahead than who is going to help them win the next immunity challenge. So I really don't think they're going to give a shit about keeping the tribe strong. And I think that's to Chappie's detriment, on top of his notoriety and not having anyone else from his season on his tribe.
Yeah. I'm surprised he came back this soon, honestly.
I am also surprised. This is not that I can't see why they wouldn't bring him back. Like, obviously they were going to bring him back at some point, but I am very surprised that this is that they brought him back so soon after the very impressive stretch that he had in season 8. But this is interesting.
We will see.
We shall.
And if nothing else, he'll give great confessional if he's only there for one episode.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Dante, a very similar player to what Chappies embodies. Island of Secrets, 10th overall, kind of just got wrapped up in some shit situations in the post-merge of Island of Secrets. But overall, a good player.
Yeah, Dante was fun. He was so over things at the same time I was starting to be very over things. So we're a bit of kindred spirits in that. And he seems like, I don't know, has he actually learned anything from his past season? He doesn't seem like the most sociable of people, just based on some of the interviews we got and everything.
He says he has. Now, whether that's real or not is another story, but I will say, like, he has some good connections on here. Like, Meryl and him were very close in their original season, and Meryl is on this tribe with him. So I can see, like, if he can keep a solid social game, or at least good enough to be more of a calming presence versus some of the people that we are going to get that we know are going to be causing maximum shenanigans at every point they can, then he might have a chance of going far. But this is a very interesting choice. I feel like these could go either very well for Dante or could crash very quickly. The interesting thing as well from his interviews, and a lot of people in their interviews have said, oh, I just need to improve my social game. Cool.
Yeah.
Those are just words until you provide actual things that you plan to do or things that you actually do. With Dante, he said in his interview that he recognizes that his social game was not the strongest. So he plans to give himself ample alone time in the mornings so that way he can survive the social game throughout the day. And I love hearing that.
I do like that, actually. I like that he has an actual plan in place to dealing with people, which is not bad. Like, maybe I will start doing that. I will give myself ample time in mornings. I will sleep in. That's basically what I will do.
Yeah, same.
Yes. But absolutely. Yeah, but Dante has a good plan. I like it. I like some solutions for introverts out there that might want to be a Survivor player in the future. Give yourself ample time to not deal with people.
Absolutely. Marian. I'm so excited.
They ate with this casting choice. Marian is a delightful human being, a fabulous person. Yes. I cannot say enough wonderful things about her. And she's also just a fantastic Survivor player and contestant, and was a gem on her first season. She is one of the reasons why I was so into the South African franchise, because she was the highlight of Champions. And I've wanted for a while, I wanted Marian to come back. As soon as they have a returnee season for her, they knew what they were doing with this pick. Marian is such a great choice. And I hope she does exactly what she did last time, except now she can't steal idols, but that's fine. She was a fantastic player. I would argue ahead of her time. And I am very excited to see her play again.
I absolutely agree. I love as well that she's been very vocal in her time since being on Champions about her journey with vitiligo. I'm hopeful we get to hear about that as well on the show. I assume we will. I feel like she'll last long enough that we'll get an opportunity to hear about that on an international platform, which I really appreciate. I mean, you said everything that I'm feeling. She was really ahead of her time in the way that South Africa Champions was played. She's one I'm very excited to see in the modern, more cutthroat version of Survivor South Africa. I think this is really where she can shine. And I'm thrilled.
I'm not worried about her keeping up with the players that have played more recently. I think she has been ready to play for some time, and I have full trust in her capabilities as just social player, as a strategic player. I am so excited for Marian. I'm so glad that LaRue answered my prayers and brought her back. This was, for anyone that has not seen Survivor South Africa Champions, you are in for a treat with Marian.
Yeah. You're in for a treat with this entire cast, but Marian is one of the highlights for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's move to Meryl. My highlight of Island of Secrets, if I'm being honest, my just absolute highlight. I love her. Again, got caught up with Dante just in a really bad situation when it came to the merge of Island of Secrets. Just was not able to get herself out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
God, I'm so excited to see her play again.
She was just always very, you can tell she's a strategic person, but she was just also a bright light, I would say, on a season that is very hard to get through sometimes. Just not my personal favorite, but not because of Meryl. Meryl was great. And I think this is a perfect season for someone like Meryl to come back. You already said it. You know, she couldn't really get herself out of the tough situation she had coming into merge. And that can be frustrating to see, especially with, you know, one of the rootable people on a darker season. And I'm very happy that we're getting Meryl back. This is a really great pick. I have a lot of faith in her capabilities as a player. Yeah. I think she can do very well. I would not be surprised if Meryl makes it far.
I hope she does. She's also someone that I'm going to be outwardly rooting for.
Yes, as you should.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like you said, just a bright light on a season that I will agree it's hard to get through. It is at times. I'm interested to see her and Dante back together on the same tribe. I'm interested to see what the dynamic is going to be with that, the dynamic with other people on this tribe. I love this choice. And also representing she was the merge boot, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah.
So representing like we're getting kind of like the full spectrum of like first boot to right before merge, and we're getting merge boot to like final 3. And I really appreciate the diversity of placements that we're getting on this season.
This is true.
It's time.
It's time. We're ready. We get to do it now. Finally.
She ate this cast photo. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. This is my number 1. I love most of the people on this cast. Palesa is it for me. Queen of Tribal Council Idols. Queen of not giving a single fuck. Queen of everything. Queen of Philippines. Point blank and the period. I love her. She is one of my favorite people to ever play Survivor across every franchise.
Oh, yeah. And you're not alone in that. Palesa is a huge favorite of mine. She is so iconic for her time in Philippines and has really developed a strong following amongst the Survivor fans. Like, Palesa is one of those names that's just synonymous with Survivor now, especially international Survivor. And I'm so happy they got to have her come back this time. We are blessed to have her back. Mm-hmm. She did eat up the cast photos, like left no crumbs for the peasants around her. And she just looks great. I am so excited. I can't even really fully encompass the words of her impact in Philippines and the excitement that is around her return.
And her impact is felt in American Survivor.
Yes. Thank you, Adam Klein.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam. I'm still surprised. I'm not going to believe that she's on this season until I watch episode 1.
Till I get that first confessional.
Because she's going to be in the intro package giving confessional.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they are going to. I don't know how long she's going to last, but I think they're going to milk that return as much as they can. And Palesa was a very capable player her first time around. So I don't see why she can't do it again and make it further.
I will agree with you. I am nervous for her. I can fully acknowledge that, like, she's a great player and she's a big threat on this tribe. And I wouldn't be surprised if they take her out early. And I would respect the move. I'd be very sad, and we might have a mourning party here for her.
We will.
But hopefully that doesn't happen, because hopefully she wins. So
I would love to see Palesa make a final tribal council pitch. Like,
her jury speech on Philippines alone, like at every moment of her jury experience on there are just not enough words to describe my love for this woman.
Yes. We can have a whole podcast on Palesa. So.
Honestly,
yeah,
we could. We absolutely could. And the episode, if she does get eliminated, that episode will be devoted only to her. I'm sorry. Yes. I don't care.
I won't even mention the people that vote her out if they vote her, if she gets voted out, which she won't. She's winning. But if she did, yes.
Yes. Well, we can't talk about Palesa all day. I wish we could. We might do a whole episode at some point about her. But we got to move on to one of her counterparts from Philippines in.
Yes! Oh my God. I'm so glad they both have P names, because
Right.
These are my two faves.
Yes.
I love PK. This is my favorite Survivor South African player. Like,
wow. Okay. I love that.
Yes, I loved his arc. He had so many fantastic moments throughout the season. I am just so excited to see PK play again. I hope he makes it far. This is what I wanted. I wanted a PK return. I was so excited that we finally got a PK return. And he's just he had so many great moments. He found an idol and negated all those votes against him. He blindsided Tevin just for the hell of it. And like, thank you, PK. And I just really want him to do well. Him and Palesa, but like, PK is one of my favorites from this new era of South African Survivor. I feel like season 5 Champions has always a very special place in my heart because that's the season that really reeled me in. And players like Marian are always going to be top tier to me. But PK was one of the new once I got comfortable and like, all right, I am fully invested in South African Survivor. I went right into season 6 right afterwards. And PK was that player to me that I was just like super connected with, really enjoyed watching him play. So sad that he couldn't make it out of that really tough spot that he had himself in. Well, I won't say he had himself in, but like
he was put in. He was put in.
Yeah. So lots of things were happening in that moment, but to start the merge as he did and make it all the way to 6 was incredible. So PK is like everything I would want to be as a Survivor player, but would fail miserably at.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
I would never get 6. I'm like, I cannot dream of getting 6th place on a reality competition show like that, please. But
truly.
But like, yes, I'm a big fan of PK, and I'm so happy that they brought him back.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. For me, as much as I love Philippines, he is the last enjoyable person to be voted out of Philippines.
See,
and
I'm just See, that's the thing is that I love like I said with season 8, I love an unpredictable final 2, and that's definitely what we get from Philippines. It's a very unpredictable final 2, very unpredictable winner. But I will say that just with the edit we got, it just, once PK was gone, it felt very dry to me. It was just not the same hype that I had beforehand with all of the mix of players that were in there. Because PK was really the last one of the outsiders left. And I would have just really liked for someone to throw a lifeline out to this man. Like, come on, this man is trying. What are you all doing? Oh, it was so sad. It was very sad.
I'm very excited to see him on a season without a racist old white man. Yes. I said what I said, and I'll say it again.
I am very excited to see PK. It is full form. I'm really hoping that he gets to go far here. I would at least like PK to make merge. I feel like that's not asking for. Yeah,
I agree.
If he could be a post merger again, I don't know if he'll win. He has Toni on this tribe, which he is friends with outside of the game as well, and I believe him and Tevin are friends outside of the game too. So I think he has some pretty good connections, and while he's definitely a big name on this cast, I don't feel like he is the biggest name out of the people.
Going to say that. Like, I feel like people are going to underestimate him, very similarly to the way they underestimated him a little bit on Philippines.
Yes.
And
I think there are going to be like, okay, him and Toni are a duo, but then when I think of like the duos that are in this game, I'm thinking like Shona and Marian, who are known for being a chaotic, villainous duo. I'm thinking of even like Dante and Meryl because they were on a more recent season. And I feel like in terms of physical threats, maybe Dante is a little more of an outsider that they can target in that regard, especially if his introverted social game plan doesn't work out for him. But so I am hopeful. I'm like trying to convince myself that PK goes far because I just really want PK to go far.
I'm here for it. I'm gonna go in with you on that. I hope so.
Yes.
Speaking of Shane.
Woo! Oh my God. This was great. This was a great choice.
Agreed.
Production was on something. They said, what can we do to have the most insane pre-mergers tribe that we possibly can get? And they said, we need to bring Shane and Marian back and put them on the same tribe together. This is perfect.
I agree. Just like you said everything. Marian and Shane being the dynamic duo that they are. This post-merge tribe especially is a lot of duos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm interested to see will the duos come together? Will the duos target each other? How is that going to work? Mm-hmm. Another one that I'm very excited to see play this more cutthroat version of Survivor South Africa, because I think like Marian and like a few other people from Champions, I'm very interested to see how he's going to adapt to the more modern version of Survivor that we're playing.
Yeah. I will say, I think Shane's a very interesting player because he was on a very particular season. This was a season where he could where you could steal idols. Yeah. He left with two idols that he left one of them at camp and then just like decided he didn't need to play the other one. So he was voted out with 2 idols. He had a bit of a villain edit, but he did not get the same type of backlash that Marian got for doing the same villainy thing. I
wonder why.
I know, right? What a big mystery. We could just do a little podcast on that mystery right there.
We will. At some point in the near future, we will talk about,
Logan and Gia investigate. Why did Marian get more hate? Yes. No,
why do, more generally, that could be the subtitle, but more generally, why do Black women get more hate than white men on Survivor?
Yes, such a struggle. Anyway. But yes. So yeah, but I did enjoy Shane. He was a very fun character. He embraced his villainy. He owned up everything he did. He had a couple very bad fumbles throughout the game. And I don't know if he's learned anything from his first season going on to his new season. But
do I want him to?
Yeah, exactly. Do I want, he can't take idols this time, but he was also just like a very blunt individual the first time he played. And I really hope that stays. I want the Shane we got in season 5. There's no need. I don't need him to learn very many lessons except play your idol. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
If you think you're going to go home, play an idol. That's all.
Yeah. I would love to see Shane or Marian find an idol this season, though. I am very invested in their success, particularly Marian's, but I would love to see them find an idol this season after playing on a season that had very different rules involving idols.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll see. Another just very interesting and exciting casting choice.
Yes.
But then again, this whole post-merge tribe is, and not to say that the pre-merge tribe isn't, but...
Yeah. And Marian was more active on social media, so that was someone that I was not surprised when they announced the cast that she was going to be coming back. But Shane, I haven't heard a ton about. I don't think he did a ton of interviews, when RHAP was covering Champions. So I don't think he's a big social media person in general. But I'm very happy that they found him and he wanted to play again.
Absolutely. Let's move to Steffi. Island of Secrets, 5th place. A choice that I'm not surprised about in the slightest.
I'm surprised they brought her back for this season, to be honest.
Okay.
Was she really an outcast?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate it. I think this is the type of player that you have to bring back at least one more time to see if she's learned anything at all. Or I would call her a bit of a villainess. I don't know how you would feel.
I would agree. Not to the extent of some of these other characters on this season, but I definitely would. If I had to bluntly categorize her hero or villain, it would be villain, but there's a lot of gray area, specifically with Steffi.
Yeah. And it's hard. This was, again, she was on a darker season. I think she contributed to some of the reasons why I am not a fan of this season.
Yes.
At least not to the point that I'm fans of other South African Survivor seasons. And I'm all for, I do believe that people can look at an edit and change their ways and like learn from it. So I am hopeful of that from Steffi. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this choice. I don't know how to feel about her coming back. I am hoping that we get a more evolved player than what we got last time.
Yeah, from her bios for this season, she says she has learned from her season, and she's, again, one of the people that's like, I'm going to work hard on my social game.
Yeah.
But she also talked about how she struggled with the scrutiny of tribal council. And so she wants to work specifically on speaking up when she thinks she has to, which I think is very, very good, because 9 times out of 10 on Island of Secrets, you didn't really hear a whole lot from Steffi unless she was specifically asked a question. And even then they were kind of shorter responses, and you didn't really get a whole lot out of her at tribal. In the game, you got a lot from Steffi in confessional.
Yeah.
And so I'm very interested to see. I like that she has this very specific thing that she wants to improve beyond just my social game needs to be better. Because let's be honest, every person on this cast needs to have a better social game, because none of them won and none of them made final tribal. So I like that she had something specific, but I'm interested to see what she does with that.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm trying to think of like the right words for it. But yeah, I would love to see a new and improved Steffi. And I feel that about being nervous or like not sure what to say during tribal count, or like really struggling with that component of the game. Because I mean, I can pretend to know what that's like, but I'm sure it's just an incredibly stressful time and just something that you don't really know like the full anxiety that goes into that until you've played. So I am open to this casting choice and to what we will see from Steffi.
And I also have to say, her cast photo, she ate. Like,
she did. She looks great.
She's a fitness model. We're not surprised. But
we're not surprised, but like the face, the bathing suit, the hair, she killed it.
The pose is what just gets it for me. Yeah.
She knew what she was doing here.
Absolutely. I'm interested. She's one of the question marks as well for me.
Yeah.
Definitely. On this cast, specifically the question mark for me on this tribe.
Yeah. Definitely.
As to where she'll end up. The only representative from Maldives. Yes. I like this choice.
So Maldives is my least favorite season of Survivor South Africa. Definitely not my least favorite season of Survivor overall, though. Like, to say it's my least favorite of Survivor South Africa is not saying a whole lot in like the grand.
Is to put it like mid-tier among all of them.
Yeah. So, so it's, and I'm rewatching it now. I'm almost done with season 4, and it's a very interesting season. I really feel like Tejan was ahead of his time. And I say that about a couple players, but he was such a strategic force in the early stages of season 4 in Maldives. And while I have to accept the fact that this was a different time that they were playing and there were different mindsets going in, and I respect that, like, people are more than welcome, you know, like, that is part of the game. You have to deal with different people's philosophies on how to ethically play Survivor. However, I feel like this was a season that was particularly overshadowed by this idea of like honesty and integrity, and you have to, you know, you can only play one way and like be like tell the truth, and if you are scheming a little too much, then you're kind of marked as a snake and then voted out for because that is what they see as the morally correct thing to do. And so that put a bit of a sour taste in my mouth for that season. But Tejan was a name that I recognized right away before I even started the cast. He is a star in this first season. He is ahead of his time. I would say there are two very strategically minded players in Maldives, and one is Allison. I don't know if one is Allison and one is Tejan. And those are the two that really stand out in terms of like players that are very strategically minded and left a very positive impression on the season. And Tejan is really the best get that you can get from this season. And I'm very happy that this was a get that we got. You know, this is a fantastic choice. I'm so glad that we got a player from the older seasons. It's been, how long has it been since he's played? It's been like, it's over 10 years. I think it was 2011 or 12, right?
I'm looking it up really quick because I don't remember. Original air was 2011. So it's been 11 years.
It's been 11 years, yeah. So that's a long time to go without playing. But Tejan was already ahead of the curve when he first started playing. So I am so happy that he is back, that they got Tejan to play 10 years later on Survivor South Africa in like this new rendition of the game when he was so ahead of the curve and Maldives. Oh, this was just a great decision, especially right now. I feel like especially connected to this choice right now because I'm just finishing up his original season now. But big Tejan fan.
Yeah, I think you said it. This was the best possible choice they could have gotten from Maldives. I would have loved to see Allison again as well. Whether she was asked, whether she wasn't asked, that's something we'll never know probably. But those would have been the two choices for me. Maldives and Santa Carolina are tied for my least favorite season because I honestly don't remember enough from either one of them to put one over the other. And so, like, those two seasons are just kind of a blur for me. I've watched them. They were whatever. They're still probably mid-tier on my whole list if I'm ranking all of the international ones I've watched. But I'm, like you said, really excited. This is a choice that excites me. I am very nervous for him as the only person from his season. And also, I have to factor in the fact that he is an older player. And he is, I believe, by far the oldest player on this tribe.
Yes.
Actually, that's a complete lie. Forget everything I just said. He's about on par. Because the oldest is Shane, but he comes up right there. And then Toni, we'll talk about her shortly. They're all in the 40s and 50s. So.
But I love the silver fox look from Tejan. Like, he has aged well.
I am very excited to look at him.
I have held my tongue for far too long. Like, this man looks great. This was an excellent choice.
Very excited to look at him. Very excited to see him play. I hope to see him make merge again. Agreed.
I'm very happy we're getting Tejan getting to play in an era that appreciates him more. Because that is not what we got from him in his original season. Like, an excellent player in the Ron era.
Agreed. And I think the interesting thing as well to consider is he is the only person from his season on this season, but also the only person on his tribe from his season. I feel like Tejan has a lot more opportunity to blend in and be a number for some of these people that have 2 or 3 people from their season, as opposed to if you look at Chappies, who's in the same sort of position. I feel like Tejan has a lot more of an opportunity to get into the game than what Chappies does. And so I think he'll be successful because of that. And I'm excited. I'm just excited.
I can't wait. I'm very excited.
And we've got one more to talk about. One of my personal favorites. It's Toni. Yes. I love Toni.
I'm so glad she gets to play again. Like,
I do too.
This is a great choice. And this is someone that has a love for the game, love for the fans.
Yes.
And I am just blessed to know her, and to have her on this season is a very amazing like gift to the Twitter fans.
The Twitter fans specifically the community that both of us come from. She's played these games with us. She's interacted with us. One of the only ones to actually do that. There were a couple South African survivors that have done that in the past. I think of Jacques, I think of Annalise, I think of Ting Ting, that have been like sort of kind of in our community more, and we don't really see any of them on this season. But I love the choice of Toni. And I think she talks about in her bio that she realizes she was very, very emotionally charged on Philippines, whether she wanted to admit it in the moment or not. And so coming back, recognizing that and understanding that, I think that's going to make Toni be an even more dynamic player than she was the first time she played.
Yes, I agree. And she does have PK on her starting tribe with her. Yep. So I do have faith that that will be a good duo going into the game. And I think once she placed 7th on a very chaotic season. And I think if she makes a couple tweaks to her game, she has a lot of potential to go far. And I'm curious to see how connections are built this time around. I think there were a couple places she could improve, but she recognizes what needs to be improved, and that's the most important thing. And she's obviously already like a very capable player physically, strategically. Like, I have faith in Toni that she is going to do well.
I agree. I can't wait. And that's that, Gia. We did it.
Oh my God.
A whole cast. I want to also, I did pull the logo for the season. I'm just going to pop that on screen real quick. Oh, this is a cute logo.
I love it. I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
But that's that. We will be back. The premiere is, oh Lord, I had the premiere date, July 18th.
Yes.
So we will be back. It is 4 episodes a week, 6 weeks of Survivor. The plan right now is we're probably going to be splitting each week into 2 episodes. So doing a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday, Thursday episode, at least for our things, because we're talking about 4 episodes in one podcast episode is just not possible. I don't want to do it. So
it's very hard, yeah.
If Australian Survivor taught us anything, it's do multiple episodes a week. But with that said, Gia, thank you so much for joining me for this. Cannot wait to hear all your opinions on the season.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on and getting to do an introduction to Survivor South Africa. This has been great.
Yes. All of Gia's links will be available below. Inside Survivor, social media, all of that. If you have anything else you want to plug, do it now.
I'm trying to figure out how to okay, here we go. I'm I can't point my, here we go. There.
Oh, there.
No. Follow me.
There we go.
There we go. I'm a fun follow, I promise.
Yeah.
I mean, all my links will be in the chat, and I feel like, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll get all of my Survivor shenanigans and everything else that is going on with my podcasting life, my reality TV life. I would definitely keep an eye out for the Journey Through Time that I am currently doing on Inside Survivor. We just posted Survivor South Africa Panama today, which is the first season of Survivor. So if you want to get a little overview of what each season provides, then that is a great place to start. If you don't mind spoilers, those will be a fun place to read those. Yeah. And I hope to have some other seasons out very shortly. But I'm very excited for this new season of Survivor South Africa, and I'm very excited to see what the cup provides along the way.
All of the tea. It's what we do.
All of the tea. Yes.
Well, I mean, in this case, it's coffee still for me, but you know. With that, cheers, my love.
Cheers. Oh, wait. Let me. There we go.
There we go. Bye-bye now. Goodbye. So long, farewell.